everyone! Welcome to Miss Padoodle's Playhouse. Today I'm going to be telling you one of my favorite stories, Little Red Riding Hood. Are you ready? Great! Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Little Red Riding Hood. Do you know why she was called Little Red Riding Hood? Yes, because she always wore a hood that was red. So everyone began calling her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother asked her, "Your grandmother is not feeling well. Would you please take this basket of treats through the forest to her house to see her?" "Of course, Mother, I would love to. I love to visit Grandma." "Here's the basket, Little Red Riding Hood. Now remember, go straight through the woods to your grandmother's house and don't talk to any strangers." "I won't, Mom. I'll see you later." So Little Red Riding Hood began walking through the woods to her grandmother's house. But while Little Red Riding Hood was walking along, she heard a gruff voice behind her. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, well, good morning." Now, Little Red Riding Hood had never met a wolf before, so she didn't know to be scared of him.
"What have you got in that basket, Little Red Riding Hood?"
"Oh, just some eggs and butter."
And where are you taking them?"
"Well, Mr. Wolf, I'm taking them to my grandmother's house."
"Oh, I see. And where does your grandmother live?"
"Oh, she just lives along this path to the end of the forest."
"Oh, okay, I see."
"Well, I am running late. I better get going. Nice talking to you, Mr. Wolf." But Little Red Riding Hood didn't know that Mr. Wolf knew a shortcut to grandmother's house. And he took that shortcut and ran all the way there. In the meantime, Grandma was taking a rest when all of a sudden, Mr. Wolf came running up to the door and he knocked on the door. "Oh, who is it?"
It's
It's me. It's Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, how lovely. Come on in, honey." So the wolf opened the door and came inside, and Granny took one look at Mr. Wolf and screamed and ran into the closet to hide. "Ah, a wolf! Ah!" But as she ran, her bonnet fell off. Whoop! And she ran and hid in the closet. So the wolf had an idea. Instead of chasing after Grandma, he put the bonnet on his own head, crawled into her bed, put the blanket over him, and waited for Little Red Riding Hood to show up. Pretty soon, Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, and she knocked at the door. "Hello? Who is it, dear?" said the wolf, pretending to be the grandma. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. Can I come in?" "Oh, yes. Do come in, sweetheart." So Little Red Riding Hood walked inside. But when Little Red Riding Hood entered her grandmother's cottage, she could hardly recognize her grandmother. "Grandmother, your voice sounds so odd. Is something wrong?" Oh dear, it's just this cold. It's making my voice a little scratchy," said the wolf. "But Grandmother, your ears are so big." "Well, all the better to hear you with, my dear." And Grandmother, your eyes are so big." "All the better to see you with, my dear." And Grandmother, your teeth are so big." "All the better to eat you with." And at that point, the wolf threw off the blanket and the bonnet and started chasing Little Red Riding Hood. And Little Red Riding Hood realized too late that this was the big bad wolf. She ran around the house screaming, "Help! Help! Help!" But just outside the cottage, there was a woodsman, and he could hear the screaming.
What is that? It sounds like someone's in trouble in that house. I better go investigate.
The woodsman ran into the house just as he saw the wolf almost catching Little Red Riding Hood. He waved his axe above his head and scared the fox. Ah! Oh no! He's got an axe! Mr. Fox ran out of the cottage and never went back there again. Little Red Riding Hood was so relieved she was saved by the woodsman. And just then, Grandma pokes her head out from the closet door. Oh my goodness! Is he gone? Is the wolf gone? And you're safe?
Oh, Grandma, you're safe. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, yes, I'm so glad you're safe too, Little Red Riding Hood. That big bad wolf was so scary. Yes, he was, but I think I scared him. You don't have to worry about him coming around here anymore.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Woodsman. And I promise I will never, ever, ever talk to strangers again. And to this day, Little Red Riding Hood has never talked to another stranger again. I hope you enjoyed one of my favorite stories, Little Red Riding Hood. And remember, never talk to strangers. Thanks so much for joining me today. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget, you can also watch Miss Padoodle on Roku now. I'll see you next time. Bye.